Welcome to my channel. My name is Jody, and in today's video I'm going to show you the last couple steps I'm taking to finish up my Loch Ness monster. So in one of my last videos I had someone ask me to explain the fusibles that I use. So let me pull this up here. For my applique I use SF805. And what it is, let me pull it up here so you can see. It is a piece of parchment paper with a light little fusible piece, and the paper is only on one side. For my portrait quilts, I use light seam 2, and what it is it has a piece of parchment paper, one on each side, and then it's got the light fusible in the middle. I hope you can see that. So this is what I use for my portrait quilts, is the light seam 2. So in a previous video, I showed you my Loch Ness monster pattern. So I'm using 4 shades. The white will be my lightest fabric. Where you see black, that's going to be my darkest fabric. So I'm going to move the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. So I don't want to make you sick. Okay. I hope you can see this. So the first thing I do is I take my seam, and there are 2 sides to seam. There is a side that has little yellow squares, and the other side is plain. So I don't know if I do this right, but this is how I do it, and it helps me keep organized. I trace the right side of my pattern on the plain, and on the back is the reverse image where the squares are. So here's a piece that I laid down and I traced. I laid it on here and I traced it on the plain side. And so since this paper's kind of thick, I put it under my light box and I traced on the yellow square side, the reverse side that I'm going to keep. And I've got on here, it's my number 3 fabric, and I'm keeping this side. So here is, let me remove this pattern. So this is my light box. It's my husband created this for me. It's made out of 1x3s, a piece of plexiglass with some LED lights under it. It's about 18 by 24. And so once I have my pieces, I'm going to fuse this down to my number 3 fabric. So let me move this out of the way. So I need to remove my plain side. Let me pull this out of here. Okay. So this I can throw away. So now I have my reverse image, and the fusible is on the back. So I stick this down on my fabric. Let me move it over just a hair. And I hit it with the iron. So now it's fused to the back of my fabric. I'm taking my non-sewing scissors, because there's paper, and let me cut this out real quick. These portrait quilts are really just like putting a puzzle together. And since this is my number 3 fabric, and on my pattern, it goes underneath Nessie, which is a number 4 fabric. So since it's going under a darker fabric, I'm okay. But if this were to go over the darker fabric, I may want to not continue the piece under it, if that makes sense. Just so there won't be no shadowing. I don't want a light fabric over a dark fabric if I can help it at all. So let me finish cutting this out. Okay. So now I have my pattern piece. So now I have my number 1 fabric, which is my lightest. It's basically the lightest part of the ocean. I have golden threads paper, and I use this for placement. So I can lay this down and move my pieces around so I know that they're in the right position. So I'm going to peel off this piece of paper. And now the fusible is stuck to my fabric. So now I'm going to take my little tweezers, and it goes right here underneath Nessie. So I'm going to bring it in here, and I'm going to lay this down. And as it gets in position, I can stick it down. So I've got that piece down. Now my very last piece is going to be Nessie. So let me take her fusible off. Get my tweezers. Now I'm going to lay Nessie down. Raise that up just a hair. And it's all, I can lift it up and move it around until I hit it with iron, and then it becomes permanent. So now I can lay this down. So I'll raise this up so you can kind of see. I've got all my pieces all stuck to my background fabric. So I've gone ahead and traced the outline of the castle onto freezer paper to kind of give me an idea of what this is going to look like. Lay this down. Sorry for all the noise. I'm just going to lightly touch this with my iron since it's plexiglass. I don't want to melt my plexiglass. But this will give you an idea what my Nessie will look like when it's done. Move this out of the way. Raise that up so you can kind of see Nessie will be in the castle. I've got all my fabrics that I'm going to place parchment paper over and iron all these down so that they become permanent. They won't come loose. But this is Nessie. So I'd like to, in a future video, take you step by step how I do this, how I create my patterns, selecting fabrics, and pretty much what you see here, the tracing, the cutting, and the fusing. So if you'd like to see something like that, let me know. And I appreciate you coming, spending the time with me. Have a great day. Stay safe. Bye.